An orange in January.
An Orange in January by Diana Hutz Aston. Illustrated by Julie Marin. In a land that glowed with spring light, an orange blossomed.
I wonder what the main topic of this book will be. On the page, I read about an orange blossoming. I know that the title of the book is An Orange in January. I think that the main topic is probably oranges. I will keep looking for key details as I read.
Bees feasted on nectar sweet as honey, until...
It says on this page that bees feasted. Well, I know that feast means to eat a whole lot of food. So feasted means that the bees were eating a whole lot of nectar, or as sweet as honey.
The petals fell away, and the orange began to grow into what it was meant to be. It grew slowly and steadily, fed by the earth's soil and the ocean's breath.
It says it was fed by the earth's soil and the ocean's breath. That just means that the people understand that just like people need water and food, plants need water and food from the soil. So the soil gave the orange plants food, and the ocean's breath just means that it got water from the ocean so that it could grow.
Soaked with rain and drenched in sunshine, the orange grew plump and bright, until...
I see different kinds of weather in this picture. I'll reread to find out why. Soaked with rain and drenched in sunshine, the orange grew plump and bright. Oh, I see. The orange grows when it gets rain and sunshine. It needs both kinds of weather.
A hand, brown with seasons of sun, plucked it from its branch. While dew still glittered on the leaves, its days of growing were over, but there was life in it yet, and it still had far to go. From bag to basket.
It says on this page, from bag to basket. I can see that the worker is pouring oranges out of a bag, and he's putting them into a huge basket. This shows me that the oranges go from one bag to the basket.
Truck to truck.
So they're in this truck. Danny. It goes from this small truck filled with oranges into this building and then leaves again on a much bigger truck filled with more oranges.
It followed the skyway over mountains, across deserts and plains, until...
So what has happened to the orange so far? So first it grew on the tree, next it was plucked from the tree, then it went from bag to basket, and now it's on a truck. It says it's went across deserts and plains. So it's went across the mountains here, and it went across the desert, and it's went across the plains. So the oranges have traveled very far.
The orange arrived at a grocery store. There it rested, aglow with the goodness inside it, until...
So where did the orange end up? Where is it now? We can go back and reread to find out. The orange arrived at a grocery store. So it's at a grocery store.
Two hands, small and soft, took it from the pile and called it the best one of all.
I wonder what the boy will do with the orange next. I know that I like to eat oranges. Do you think he's going to eat it next? Let's keep reading to find out.
Carrying it home, the child felt its roundness, and imagined himself a juggler, a pitcher, a clown with an orange ball.
You know, I'm not sure I understand all the things that the boy imagined. So I'm going to go back. He's pretended he was a juggler and a pitcher and a clown with an orange ball. Oh, the little boy's trying to imagine all the ways he could use his orange. Not just to eat it, but he could use the orange to be a juggler. He could use the orange to be a pitcher. He could throw the orange. Or he could use it to be a clown.
That night, as ice gleamed on the branches, he dreamed of a land that shone in summer light. When morning came, the orange reached the end of its journey, bursting with the seasons inside it.
Oh, what is the little boy doing with his orange? He's putting it in his lunchbox. So that must have been what they bought the orange for all along, for him to have for lunch.
And two hands, pink with cold, shared its segments, so that everyone could taste the sweetness of an orange in January.
So the little boy peeled the orange and took it apart and broke it into pieces and gave it to all his friends. All right, now I want you to go to Doodle Buddy. You're going to draw 3 different pictures for me. The first thing you're going to draw is what happened at the beginning of the story. So if we go back and we look at the beginning of the story, we know that when we started reading An Orange in January, we go back to the very first page at the very beginning. It said, in a land that glowed with spring light, an orange blossom bloomed. So I need to draw the beginning of the story where an orange blossom is blooming. So I'm going to draw what I saw on that page, which would be a green tree and an orange blossom was beginning to grow. Okay, and I can go back and I can even look and see what it kind of looks like, to see what that orange blossom looked like. Ooh, it was yellow. And there were bees in it, remember, getting honey. So I'm going to draw that yellow orange blossom on the tree. An orange blossom grows. After I've drawn the beginning of the story, I'm going to save it to my camera roll, save it to my photo album, and then I'm going to hit the trash and delete it so I can draw the next part of my story. So that was the very beginning of my story. Then I'm going to go figure out what happened in the middle of my story. So I'm going to kind of flip some pages, and in the middle of my story, it kind of looks like the orange is being picked. Oh, and it's in a basket, and it's going to get on a truck. So on that, I may want to just draw an orange, that the orange grew and it got picked. Now if I want to draw a bunch of different things that show I could draw the basket if I wanted to, I could even draw the orange truck. Okay, then I'm going to save that to my photo album and I'm going to trash it. The last picture I'm going to draw is I'm going to draw the end of the story. So where did our orange end up at the very end? The very last thing that happened to our orange. The little boy took it to school, didn't he? So I'm going to make sure that I draw that in Doodle Buddy. Okay, I'm going to draw the little boy maybe sharing his orange with his friends, so I could draw the little pieces of orange that he had. I could draw all of his friends on here. Okay, so I want to make sure I draw the end of the story. I'm going to save it to my photo album, and then I'm going to trash it. Then I'm going to go over to Pick Kids, and I'm going to find my 3 pictures that I drew. I'm going to photos, I'm going to find those 3 pictures, the beginning, the middle, and the end of my story. The beginning, middle, and end of my story. And I'm going to put them in a pick collage, and I'm going to put them in order. I'm also going to need to put the title of my story on here. An orange in January. So I'm going to make sure that I put that on there. An orange in January. And there is the name of our story, An Orange in January. Okay? After you've done that, make sure you add it to your Cecil journal and that you send it to me.